when did that?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everybody. Morning. We'll call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. I take a motion to approve the agenda and the minutes. So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Morning, Rich.
Morning. That culvert on Porter Street's in. Probably need to cut down the road at a later date, couple feet, just let the water flow through if it needs to, and it floods. We'll evaluate that another time.
That's the rail car pipe?
Yep, and the other two we had delivered out on Spruce. I'm waiting for the engineers to give me the elevations for those to put in, so,
Right along the river.
yeah. And, you know, it's right there on the river, so there's only gonna be a limited elevation to put it in anyway, so. I know there's some limestone there, so it might be a little tricky.
Might set where it sits if you're
Well,
non-line stuff.
You wanna still, yeah, you still wanna get some cushion underneath the pipe, but it might be fractured enough that we can dig a little bit and get a little rock underneath it, but we'll
No.
get that information.
They'll fit in, leaving the walls.
No, we'll have to take the walls out of this one. That's gonna be worried about. I know that the water elevation depends on the river. But we don't wanna restrict it if it's getting to the river quicker than the river fills too, so.
Sure.
Okay. So they're laying there, it's just a matter of scheduling. I took quotes last Friday on dump trucks. I think I maybe mentioned that a while back. There's a lot of options that we're evaluating right now. You know, between Allison transmissions and things like that, that some allotments are already taken that we can't. Certain models of trucks can't get the allotment for the Allison transmissions, certain dealers. So I'm going through all that stuff right now. Hopefully by next week I'll have some sort of recommendation, and we probably won't see them until FY 26 anyway, so, or after the next, so when we budget, we can budget those costs into our equipment budget for that time, so.
Next winter.
Well, we'll get them,
Next
hopefully,
fall.
yeah, hopefully we'll get them before.
Yeah.
Well, the goal, the quote said we want them before November 1, I think it was, so. I think most people, depending when we get the order in, they can achieve that. It could be earlier depending on what quarter they put their orders in, but it's a matter of whether we can get the right engines and transmissions. I told a lot of these dealers to say, look, if you can't do it, quote me what you can get and we'll evaluate from there what best suits our needs, so. So I've got that information. We'll try to look at that this week and maybe come back with something to recommend for next year, so.
You're like 20-30% higher.
They're a lot more expensive than they used to be. I think we're looking at anywhere from 325 to 360, depending on what combinations of what we want for one truck. Or I remember motor graders were cheaper than that, fully grass, so things got more expensive. And then we've also been talking, at least in Mitchell County, and since we've got the same equipment here, we're talking about, you know, if the Sterlings can kind of stay in decent shape. We've talked about, because they're pre-def, there's very little computers on them. Maybe we try to retrofit them, you know, the boxes are falling apart and stuff, and I don't know, ours may be in a little worse shape over here, but we'll look at them and see, but maybe it's worth spending some money on putting new boxes on them again and keep running them. They're manual transmissions and.
You ever looked at doing gliders?
As far as getting chassis and
Putting chassis and putting the motors in them on top of that?
well, we could probably look at that. I'm trying to remember if there was something to do with the manufacturers not doing gliders anymore, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know.
I know that was a thing a
Guys
while
were doing
back,
that.
and then I think,
Saving quite a bit of money at that time.
Right.
You know, a few years,
I
3
think
4
the
years ago.
government kind of grabbed a hold of that.
since the tier 4 stuff came out, I
Yeah.
think they've kind of put the kibosh on it, but.
Should be, this kind of stuff should be just like, emergency vehicles and everything. They should be exempt from that.
Because you
When you
need the
need 'em,
power, you need the power, and
Yeah.
I agree with you, because
Yeah.
we're not. Yeah, I know they're higher polluting vehicles, and of course, we're government entities, we should be setting the standard, but when you need the power. And the expense of all that stuff and
You need the equipment that's got to run.
right, so anyway,
Yeah. The DEF systems get to be the problem, not.
You know, that seems to be the majority of the problems when we first started getting, any issues we've had was usually the DEF systems. I know they're getting better, but now seems like it's computers.
Yeah.
The wiring.
Do they get pretty good warranty on the DEF system?
I'm trying to remember, some of them were throwing like a 3-year in it. I'm just trying to remember what it was.
Farm equipment, I would say it's like 5 years, but I didn't.
We were throwing, we were asking for a 5-year warranty. Some of these guys are doing 5-year, 200,000 miles. Well, we won't put 200,000 miles on the truck in 5 years, but. So. We'll evaluate our options and come back with, like I said, we might not pick the cheapest, but we're gonna pick the ones that fit our needs the best, so.
Yeah. Well, it's gotta be.
And then I'm still trying to schedule something with B&K on the building yet. I thought I'd responded to his last email about rescheduling and I haven't heard back yet, so. I told him that we could meet sometime this week. Let's see if he's got it in his schedule. Cause I think we're ready to make a few little changes on the building and just say, let's move forward with.
You guys got
something.
the office figured out, right?
I think so. We have to sit down and maybe look at that one more time and make sure we've got everything.
Between the three, you and Jim and Jason.
Yeah, that's what this meeting will be about, was to make sure that new changes kind of meet our needs, and then I was gonna move some stuff. We showed a maintenance shop stall on the outside, but I think we'll try to move everything to one side. We may not have a drive-through wash bay, but it'll still be a wash bay. You can drive in and back out or whatever. Sure, be able to manage that.
I talked to Jason about that a little bit too. It's like, it just.
Add more roof line and truss line, it just kind of adds more expense. I think,
Yeah.
if you.
So we just take the building, make it completely one with mechanic shop, wash bay. You drive in, you back out, but then that stuff on the south side of the building and so. It'll still fit us.
Well, and who knows, if you're in the shop bay, maybe you can have a door between the wash bay and the shop bay, and he could, when he's done working, wash it, get it out. I mean,
True.
could do something like that too.
Yeah.
Options we can,
Yeah, no, stay on that, cause I think we wanna get that out for bids. So we can get some. Well, winter construction going on the Kennison building and then. Spring construction on the rest. So,
I'll wait to hear back from him.
okay,
Alright, that's all I got.
did you got anything, Rich?
Just, I know you're gonna be fighting this with the dry weather, trying to grade the roads. Within a week, the washboards are back, especially at the intersections. I don't know if we can,
Yeah.
and they just keep getting worse.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything you can do or not, but.
Well,
Thought moisture stuff.
we can go out and try to knock some stuff down and try to stay on top of it best we
Yeah.
can.
Best you can.
You know, I don't know, most of these guys will. I'm sure most of the intersections are with the highway where you really are doing the stopping and taking off, so we can kind of focus on those type
Yeah,
intersections.
that's kind of what I was looking at, more than anything, yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll look at those.
Anything? Nope, yep, thanks, Rich.
Yep.
Drainage, with the claims.
Yeah.
There a motion to approve the drainage claims?
I'll make a motion to approve the drainage claims.
I'll second it.
All right, any discussion on them? Hearing none, all in favor aye.
All right.
Aye, opposed? Carries. Anything else? Drainage? I think we've got all of our work orders are covered. Probably about completed, so. We have no regular claims this week, any reports?
Yeah. Sheriff and treasurer.
Here, is there a motion to approve the sheriff's report and the treasurer's
I'll make a motion to approve the reports.
recorder's report?
I'll second it.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries.
The quarterly one for the sheriff might have something on the back, I'm not sure. I guessed.
I just sign everything, just keep signing them.
Yeah.
Any liquor license?
No.
We got two manure management plan updates. One was for Summit Farms. And one was for Indigo Farms. Is there a motion to acknowledge those manure management plan updates?
I'll make a motion to acknowledge your management plan updates.
Yep.
Seconded.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye. Aye, opposed? All right. County inspector, you guys saw the email, the agreement, it's. I think Jeff looked at it, had some concerns, just a couple things.
Yep. Payment.
Yeah, so I guess I'll see what he had concerns, but well, I guess I don't know what his recommendations were for any changes.
Well, they do conflict each other.
Do they?
One of them says, well, payment's not paid within said 60 days shall accrue interest on unpaid balance at their interest. And then down below, it says professional, which is Snyder, will be paid within 45 days of the client receiving payment from the pipeline. Well, if you get a bill from Snyder, and when that bill comes in, you got 60 days to pay for it. Well, by the time, I don't know how it's, I would imagine you're gonna send that bill to Snyder, right? And then they're gonna take a look at it and reimburse you. So it says, with the 45 days, it says, after receiving payment, after we get the payment back from Snyder, we still got 45 days. So if you got 60 and if the bill goes in and comes back, it could come back in 30 days with a check. Well, then it's saying you got 30 days up above to pay for it because it's 60 total. And down below it says you got 45 days after the payment. It's
Okay.
confusing. I can
Right.
see where Jeff was going.
Okay,
So that's, I think that's the two areas that are,
okay. I'll email that Christina back then and say just. Gotta be some, a little confusion and. Confliction.
unless there's a different system on how they pay for it,
Right,
because they're paying it according to the IUB standards and the code of Iowa, so.
okay.
It just, I read through it.
Other than
I can
that,
see what
everything-
Jeff is talking about.
Yeah, now, yeah, it makes sense, and other than that, I think everything looked fine. We gotta have it, we gotta have somebody and. I'm just a little leery on some others that were immediately calling as soon as the pipeline stuff got brought to my attention, to our attention, it's like, well. Who are they working for? So we just wanna make sure we get somebody who's working for us, and we know Bolton and Mink will, as them being a part of this, so.
Yeah,
Okay. Alright, we'll try to get that figured out for those changes or whatever for next week then.
and then the other question you should ask him is. After 60 days, it's gonna accrue interest. If we don't get the payment from them, we're certainly not gonna pay it. So we're gonna sit there and pay interest that whole time.
Right,
Well, we'll get stuck with that, cause Snyder's not gonna come back and pay that.
no,
See, there might be some other stuff in there you might wanna ask her.
okay. Okay,
Cause it just looked really confusing in there, and I can see what Jeff was driving at.
yep, okay.
Oh, where do we pay that?
Thing, yeah, we have to,
Yeah, the interest?
No,
Well, just-
the in and out, because any expense has to be in the
Well-
budget.
You should be able to get a bill. From Snyder on it and fire that bill to Summit. And then Summit should pay you. So they really won't have to pull any money from anyplace else in my attitude.
But it's
You
still
do
an
make
it work.
expense, it's still
Budget.
gonna
Oh,
go
that
through
would
the
be, yeah,
budget.
still gotta
yeah,
go through the proper channels.
We know it's
the
gonna-
State of Iowa, the way
it's
they do
gonna
their
be a-
accounting.
pass through,
Mhm.
basically,
Yeah.
but it's still gotta be a part of the budget, so. Another amendment.
Yeah,
at
good
some
point.
Right.
So it'd be better if they just
I think I
paid,
have engineering lines that we could
Be-
be creative with.
it'd be better if they just paid Snyder's directly,
Oh, wouldn't it be though?
then,
Mhm.
Then if you don't pay it on time, it's your
Oh,
problem.
exactly,
We stay out of it.
yeah, cause. I mean,
We're getting caught in the middle of it.
Yeah,
Gotta love the code.
yeah, in the middle of the paperwork end of it, the billing, so,
But I do agree with Jeff on some of this stuff.
okay.
It was confusing when I read through it myself.
Okay, we'll, cause once we get this done, she'll submit it to, the IUB, so then they know we have somebody hired as our inspectors, part of the process. So that if it does go forward, then we're all set. But we'll try to get the other stuff figured out then, so. Anything else on that? If not, building grounds,
I gotta line somebody up for the front door, cause it's just not shutting. We need something done to it. You can see where I'm guessing it's just settling and you can see where there's paint missing and stuff.
needs adjustment,
Yeah, something's happening, or it needs to be shaved down or something.
probably just some adjustment and.
And
That's
I
about
think
fair.
the hardware might be, I mean, I'm guessing it's
Not
ancient.
Shut and tight enough.
Yeah.
Pulling it, the closure, and there's adjustment in the closure somewhere.
Yeah, the thing on
That
the
you could-
hinge thing on the top or whatever that's.
That'll
supposed
pull it
to-
tighter, yeah.
Yeah, we just have somebody take a look at that.
Yeah, I just.
I don't know.
To it yet. I got a couple of names, I just haven't gotten to it.
You know, like Mason City Glass, those guys. I don't know if they do any of the adjustment stuff or they just do the glass portion, because on the aluminum doors, if they actually build them and. That or not, but that's one option you can try, Mason City Glass.
And this is just a wood door, I mean, majority of it's just wood, thick wood.
Carpenter should be able to take care of it
Yeah.
in that time.
I was
Yeah,
gonna try somebody local.
Yeah, it's hard to find somebody that's got time,
Mhm.
but yeah,
they can't even come do it on a rain day or if rain's got them knocked down. You know, because we don't get rain days
10 other
anymore.
people in front of you.
And we don't get rain days anymore.
Did you ever hear back from Jeff on that contract? What do you thought of that?
No,
Okay.
but I just gave it to him on Friday.
Yeah. I didn't know, I didn't see an email come through and I didn't know they just fired it to you.
Okay. Top of Iowa water main. Jason has got, I guess it's water main, water rate stuff to Jeff, so Jeff's gonna start working on the ordinances. So we can post that stuff and, get that completed. Otherwise, the water main thing. I think this week they might be switching a pump, one of the well pumps, get that up and running. Switch the other one, get it up and running, and then they'll fill that tower, disinfect it, test it, so. For the next 2 weeks, maybe we'll see that tower full and running, so. Good, I think that was the plan for this week, so. Winter's Betco, Melissa's
No.
for funeral today,
Mhm.
but she said, she's going to Kensett. Or is she going this week? Town for home base, try to get them going on the home base Iowa thing, and then she's gonna go visit with Kensett also. Then we have our meeting next Monday. Our
Mhm.
executive board meeting next Monday at Dross Cases. And then, the advisory meeting is Wednesday night next week at Manly, which you go to that one, right?
Yep, I got the deal on the executive, I haven't got the advisory stuff yet.
Yep, so she said she'll be getting the agendas out here this week, so. People service not here.
Hope they're getting that lead service line done by October 16th.
Yeah,
You know, they said they were gonna do it, but we
Right.
never really heard anything, whether it's
Maybe.
done or not.
I gotta talk to Jake, so I'll just remind him again, it's gotta be done, so. Department head discussion? Anyone?
AJ, question. That water tower site.
Yeah.
And stuff. Would be, I don't know what is left, I'm sure there's pins out there.
Mhm.
Should we just try to peel up all that extra rock, haul it off, and then just blade the whole site so it's smooth, or? I guess I was kind of, when I went out and looked at it, I'm like, I know there's some pretty deep ruts in there, but I think with some of the size of that rock, it could be a lot of work for the skid loader, that I know there's some bigger boulders out there, but I was like, how far do you wanna go and how much do you wanna get?
And I haven't looked at it in a while. I just thought we'd try to just define where that stuff was at, kind of just somewhat level it off.
Cause then I thought if we just took a motor grader, it'd be a lot quicker to smooth things out and spread things, but do you still want the rock out there? I mean, I think up by the tower site, it's good to keep the rock there, cause there's gonna be traffic in and out, but where that whole laydown site was, that rock's.
And that's been there for
Yeah,
years. So
yeah.
That
Which side of the water tower is this on?
be the west side of the driveway.
there's
The water
just,
tower, the driveway, and then the west, kind of the west portion, they're just like a rock area that's probably there when they built the thing.
and then,
Probably
you know, it kinda drops off into the grass a little bit,
Yeah.
it's not. So I didn't know, when I was out there looking at it, it's like, well, okay, where do we start, where do we stop?
Right, so just gonna have those guys see if they go out and just kind of define that, clean it up, then we keep weeds and grass stuff sprayed down or whatever, but
I
then,
know on the south side that McKinnis leveled all that out.
Yeah.
They went from the right of way all the way to the driveway.
they seeded all.
I just wondered if maybe you wanted to take some of that rock from the west and just push it toward the power site, so then there's a smaller rock area, and the rest of it could be, I don't know.
And, I mean, whatever, I just say clean it up.
Try to make it look
Yeah,
good.
Just make it look good, try to at least define it to
Define
whatever.
the
it is.
rock area.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
All right.
and we kinda wanna keep it around, I mean, we gotta protect our, power and well, you know, right
Yep.
there, we wanna
Yep.
kinda keep that so you can always see it too.
Well, maybe that's a good place to maybe just make a nice rock, if we can salvage some of the rock and push it in that area, so then it's always
Yeah,
weed free or
and then it would
something.
go through and just spray it, kill it once or twice a year, just try to keep it, so it looks a little better
Yep.
too, and,
I think we'll just try to.
Yeah.
Now's a good time to do that,
okay, perfect.
but I just wanted to clarify what you were kind of.
Yeah, I haven't been out there and looked, but I just.
So I drove out there, I'm like, well, there's some pretty deep ruts here.
Right, right, just needs to be cleaned up of some sort, but whatever you think's easiest.
Okay.
Anything, Dan, or? No, okay. Supervisor Weekly, yes,
I went to that HR training on Monday and it was very good. I was impressed with them. The amount of information they kicked out. And all the department heads were there. I only seen a couple of them that didn't make it. So, but that was really good about how, you need to get on top of what they say, get a hold of the county nurse and
Company
away.
nurse.
company nurse, yeah, and how, it's all about turning everything in. It doesn't matter how serious it is or how minor it is. You need to turn it in because you don't know what it's gonna turn into. But yeah, it was a very good meeting.
Good.
Probably never sat in on one like that.
good,
I thought anyway.
Good, I was hoping you guys would.
anything else?
Nope, that's all I had.
But nothing.
Ed Shell Rock River Watershed. Kinda just went through our in-kind time, getting that narrowed down. We still have to file our final report by December 1st. So we're working on that. We had a guy come in that does some water testing that we're gonna probably start doing. At some point throughout different spots. Of the river or streams coming into it, just to see if there's nitrate issues, E. coli issues, more here than there, and just. We may give him something like that, but he came in and kind of talked to us about how to get that program started and. Otherwise, I just kind of went through the standard stuff, kind of quiet meeting, we'll have election of officers and new stuff come January again, but and I think there's been discussion of having a joint meeting with, Winnebago. Watershed, that's going pretty good down there, so this is. Winnebago is kind of an offset of the Shell Rock, so that was part of the plan when we started, was to get that thing going, so. But other than that, just kind of normal stuff there, so not a whole lot. All right, Regional Housing Authority, we still got one on that one, anybody,
You got time on that.
yeah. Keep that in the back of your mind yet.
If you wanna look at your list of realtors and see if anybody would be willing to do that as an addition. Or,
Is there any new ones lately?
Yeah.
cause what is it, is it a monthly meeting?
It's, pretty sure it's monthly.
Yeah,
It's the
So a little more time commitment.
first Monday of the month.
I don't know when it is. I was originally on the board and then I got
First Monday of the month.
Julie to do it.
Sometime. They'll keep asking around, I guess. It can be about anybody, so.
Mhm.
Anybody that wants to be involved. All right, anything else? We got our workshop, handbook workshop Friday. Other than that, anything else need to be on the agenda? Future?
That email came from that Chris Hale about the flood risk review meeting coming up here. He was shooting for a date. Mark, are you on?
I am here, yes.
What's that?
Yeah.
Yep, I'm here.
Did you get that email from Chris Kale on that flood risk review meeting that he wants to plan here?
I did not.
Oh, you didn't.
I'll forward it.
Gotcha.
X says in November sometime.
It was in November, they were shooting for like. I gotta look at the email.
The 18th or something, or? is
Yeah, I
it
was gonna guess
something
the
else?
18th. The week of the 18th, that's what it was.
Yeah.
They wanted to do it the week of the 18th, and they were wondering if anybody had any conflicts in there.
Yeah, I went to you too.
What? That risk flood review?
Flood risk review, yeah.
Yeah. I just seen it on there, so.
Well, we'll try to get that scheduled in that week then, maybe. Okay, well, if nothing else, I would take a motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
No, second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Oh.
Meeting adjourned.